AJ Allmendinger has been temporarily suspended.
Has failed a random drug test.
Sam Hornish Jr. will replace AJ Allmendinger.
One of the toughest parts about this whole deal is I don't know anything more than anybody else does.
You know, I understand that there'll be a second test.
AJ Allmendinger has requested a test of his B sample.
We're standing behind him until, we understand the results.
NASCAR announced the B sample also violated the substance abuse policy. AJ Allmendinger has been released from Penske Racing.
It's a sad ending to a relationship that we felt like was just really beginning.
In 2011, NASCAR driver AJ Allmendinger had just come off a pretty average season, driving the famed number 43 for Richard Petty Motorsports in the NASCAR Cup Series. Keep in mind that AJ had never won a NASCAR Cup Series race before, ever. He had shown some flashes of greatness at moments for the 43 team as he rattled off a few top 10s and a top 5 with an average finish of 16th place and finished in the top 15 in the standings. For AJ, his first Cup Series win would hopefully be just around the corner. In 2012, he was chosen to drive for Roger Penske in the 22 Shell Pennzoil Dodge after Kurt Busch departed. However, things did not go entirely as planned. For the first 21 races, he could only muster 1 top 5 and 3 top 10s and an average finish of 22nd. Another issue plaguing AJ was his attitude overall, later stating that his inability to be upfront with Mr. Penske was causing his performance to decline. To be fair, the 22 team was not clicking nearly as well as other Penske car of Brad Keselowski and his number 2 Miller Lite Dodge, who was having a championship caliber season. Several finishes outside the top 30 created demand for better finishes as there was tons of pressure from higher up due to the success of the 2 team. But things would get worse for AJ, and by worse, I mean much worse. On July 7th, 2012, AJ failed a random drug test. He was prohibited from entering the competition in the upcoming Coke Zero 400 at Daytona. This would be shocking for AJ. Just like in any other sport, doping of any kind is highly frowned upon. In NASCAR, doping could mean the end of your career. Only 3 years prior, driver Jeremy Mayfield had been suspended indefinitely for violating NASCAR's substance abuse policy after testing positive for methamphetamine. Just like AJ, he lacked sponsorship. Long story short, he could offer no sponsorship without his team, and it pretty much ended his career. After the public and media heard about this, many considered AJ would meet a similar fate. AJ and his team agreed that he would provide a B sample test. Unfortunately, AJ tested positive again. It was revealed that AJ had been taking an amphetamine known as Adderall. Adderall, a stimulating drug, is typically used by people who struggle retaining attentiveness. AJ was offered this pill, being told that it was an energy pill. AJ opted to participate in NASCAR's Road to Recovery program. After being reinstated by NASCAR later in the year, AJ took the only ride available. He drove for James Finch at Phoenix Racing in the 51 car for a couple of races until the end of the season, finishing poorly in all the races. Once again, experts were led to assume this would be the end of Allmendinger's career. As NASCAR rolled back into Daytona for the 2013 season, AJ received no calls. However, when June rolled around, a familiar friend rang him up. Former boss Roger Penske would tap AJ to drive his number 22 discount tire Ford Mustang for one race in the NASCAR Nationwide Series at Road America. And man, did he impress.
Kelly and Hornish going at it.
He makes it to turn 14 now. He's still got to climb all the way up that hill.
Cars off at Canada corner.
Oh, there's Regan
Smith. The final climb, the checkered flag, and the win for AJ Allmendinger in Road America. He scores for Roger Penske.
Thank you! Yeah!
After this 14.
Got knocked out of the lead. Knocked somebody out of the way to get back to a chance to race for the lead. And held on through a few late restarts. Last laps of this one at Road America. AJ Allmendinger has driven into victory lane.
Guys, you could see as AJ was sitting in his car, the reality of the moment, the emotions began to hit him. AJ, after everything that you've been through over the last year, the fact that Roger Penske has continued to believe in you, as you sat in that car and realized that you're in victory lane, what kind of emotions are you feeling right now?
Trying not to be a big baby and cry on TV. I mean, it's understated what Roger's done for me.
And this wasn't it. He dominated his second race in August. After saving some fuel to eliminate an extra pit stop after a late race caution, he took the checkered flag to win once again. With these 2 wins in the Nationwide Series, AJ would be a force to be reckoned with on NASCAR road courses.
But coming through to take the checkered flag,
Great job, dude.
AJ Allmendinger.
By now, AJ was garnering some serious national attention. He would quickly return to the Cup Series but drive part-time for James Finch at Phoenix Racing in the 51 car and put together a few solid finishes for the team. AJ would, unfortunately, be without a Cup Series ride for the 2014 season. However, a new opportunity was on the horizon. It would be announced that AJ would sign a multi-year deal at JTG Daugherty Racing to drive the 47 car full-time. Things would be average at best for AJ at JTG just past the mid-season mark in 2014. 2 top 5s and 2 top 10s were not really where AJ wanted to be at the time. After a string of horrid finishes, AJ and the 47 team would start 6th at Watkins Glen. After avoiding all the chaos of the day and staying up front, AJ found himself lining up on the front row for the final restart of the day, ready to do it with fellow road course ace Marcus Ambrose.
Great job by Allmendinger on that restart there. He used up all the track he could to get the 9-9. And the 9 did all he could do to try to get a fender alongside. And he might have it here. Up, more contact. He's got him out of the room. We're still on the track.
Right side. He got him. Just you and him there.
Not over yet. No, it's a left-hander coming up. Allmendinger's in the best spot.
Still there, still there.
Eddie Pittman to work with there. Allmendinger holds the lead. Here they come to the white flag. 1 more lap to go.
Hit your mark, buddy. Hit your mark.
Ambrose gonna have to hold on
Clear
to
by
second
3,
spot.
side by side in your mirror. White flag right here. Clear by 4. Hit your mark, man. Hit your...
What a drive, what a race, what a victory. AJ Allmendinger was a NASCAR Sprint Cup Series winner.
At last, his first win in the NASCAR Cup Series. This win was crucial for AJ as it would lock him into the 2014 chase for the Sprint Cup. Unfortunately, his consistency just wasn't there, and he was quickly knocked out of the chase after a couple of bad runs. This issue of consistency would catch up to him. Another problem of his temper, when faced with very often bad luck, would hurt his mentality, resulting in some self-inflicted bad finishes. Up until after the 2018 Cup Series season, AJ would riddle off only a couple of top 10s a year and hardly any top 5s, which would usually come at road courses. At the end of the 2018 season, AJ would agree to part ways with the JTG team. AJ would dip his feet into motorsports broadcasting, but luckily for AJ, once 2019 and 2020 came around, AJ was tapped to drive the number 10 car for Kaulig Racing part-time in the Xfinity Series. Here, AJ engineered an excellent relationship with the Kaulig Racing chairman Matt Kaulig and president Chris Rice. With this relationship and a change in demeanor, AJ would go out and win in 2019 at the Charlotte Roval. AJ would return to Kaulig once again in 2020 and win his first race on an oval at Atlanta and win a soaked Roval race once again. With this success, Kaulig and Rice could not resist adding AJ to the team to drive for them full-time in 2021. With this, AJ put together his best season in his entire career, battling week in and week out with his fierce rival Austin Cindric. And he would win, and by win, I mean a lot.
Turn 4, 6th career victory. AJ Allmendinger wins. There you go. Congratulations. Great interview with Allmendinger here. What a comeback for AJ Allmendinger. 2nd win of the year, 2nd time he's done it at Mid-Ohio.
He's going to get down to the apron, breaking the draft, and come to the checkered flag.
A great restart of the outside. The 7 of Allgaier right on the bumper of the 22. But the 16 battles back.
Here comes Allmendinger. It's Cindric and Allmendinger into 3 and 4. Allmendinger up the racetrack. They make contact. 3 wide for the lead. 1 lap to go. Here comes Allgaier on the inside. They go up the racetrack. Allmendinger back in on the inside. He takes the lead. More contact behind him. The race for the win. Through 3 and 4. Allmendinger, Cindric, side by side. Allmendinger wins it at the line.
Hard crashing off into turn 1. I cannot believe what I just saw.
Allmendinger now with over a 2-second lead. Through the final chicane for the final time. Once again, Allmendinger has shown he is a road course superstar. He wins at Charlotte.
And it keeps getting better. A lot better.
Win of his career at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Another chapter written into the Indy history books. AJ Allmendinger will cross the yard of bricks, the winner of the first ever road course race for the Cup Series.
Let's go! Hey, baby, we don't do it the easy way.
This checkered flag moment brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. AJ Allmendinger celebrating at the Brickyard.
How do you describe the chaotic race that was today?
No, I mean, it was, you know, we probably had like an 8th, 10th place car. I sped on pit road. I thought we were going to finish 12th to 15th. And then those restarts were just insane. And it's great when you have a car owner that just says, go get me trophies. He doesn't care if that thing's torn up. So Chevrolet, ECR horsepower, RCR, everybody. I mean, just everybody that allows us to do that. All of our sponsors on the Xfinity side of it. I mean, we just won at Indy. What's up? Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Let's go!
AJ Allmendinger's got a date.
AJ racked up a shocking win at the Indianapolis road course at the famed Brickyard after Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe collided, giving AJ the lead on the final lap. It was his second Cup win of all time. As for his Xfinity Series endeavors, he managed to win the regular season championship in the playoff elimination race at the Roval, locking him into the next round. After a few races of consistency, he locked himself into the championship four at Martinsville. During the championship race at Phoenix, he struggled with handling his car and mistakes, which resulted in a loose wheel, causing him to spin, effectively eliminating him from contention. However, AJ commented afterwards, and reinforces the mirror that it was a successful season overall. Overall, you cannot deny that AJ has experienced one of the most monumental comebacks in NASCAR history. He has arguably elevated Kaulig Racing from a top 10 team really only competitive at superspeedways to contenders week in and week out. Without a doubt, AJ and the addition of the 2021 Xfinity Series champion Daniel Hemrick will bring Kaulig Racing to new heights and perhaps future championships. Now, I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on the illustrious career of AJ Allmendinger? What kind of NASCAR videos do you want to see on the channel? Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I can't wait to make more videos for you guys. This has been the Wheelspin Report. Catch you next time.